Would you like to maximize your returns, legally minimize tax, and protect your property? Here's how choosing the right ownership structure impacts all of those factors. Hi everyone, I'm Amir Aishak from Property Tax Specialist. I'm here to help you navigate the complexities of Australia's property tax regulation. There is no doubt that there are extensive amounts of information out there on how to choose the right investment property and the right home loan. But have you thought about choosing the right ownership structure for your investment journey? Of course, there is no one-size-fits-all formula for the best ownership structure, but thoughtfully structuring your ownership can maximize the returns on your investment, protect your asset, and help you have a solid retirement plan. So, in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 of the factors you need to consider when deciding on the best property ownership structure for your investments. But before I do that, you should know that this information is intended to be a guide only, providing an overview of general information available to property buyers and investors. This guide is not intended to be an exhaustive source of information and should not be seen to constitute legal, tax, or investment advice. You should, where necessary, seek your own advice for any legal, tax, or investment issues raised in your affairs. Let's start with asset protection. Creating an asset protection plan to minimize your risk is an important step in building your asset portfolio because it's a means of shielding your personal assets from being used to meet creditors' claims. The goal is not to defeat creditors' interests, but to protect your assets from unrelated claims. Sure, insurance can protect you against some risks, but no insurance cover will shield you from all risks. So, if something outside of your control goes wrong, you want to make sure your assets are protected and any potential loss is minimized. An asset protection strategy is necessary to identify possible risks and develop ways to mitigate them. And it should be aligned with your goals. There are many ways to protect your assets, so you need to focus on the key few areas when developing your asset protection strategy, including your portfolio goals, existing assets, liabilities, and risk profile. For example, if you're a business owner, owning property under your personal name could mean that you're vulnerable to losing your assets if things don't go as planned. So, you may want to think about structuring your investments in a company, trust, or SMSF. But again, this will depend on your situation. So, you would need to get advice from a property expert or a legal advisor in this regard. Another factor you need to consider is your tax implications. There are various benefits associated with different structures. So if you want to manage your investment property tax implications effectively, you need to consider an ownership structure favoring your tax circumstances. For example, holding a negatively geared property in a trust that has no other income is futile as you cannot offset your losses against the individual taxable income. On the other hand, a discretionary trust allows the trustee to divide the income between beneficiaries in the most tax-effective way each financial year. So, if your investment generates a profit and you have multiple added family members benefiting from the trust, this might be a smart tax strategy. For example, for adult beneficiaries of the family trust who fall under a lower marginal tax rate, the trustee can distribute more income to them to reduce the overall tax paid by the family group. Or, if you fall into a higher income tax bracket, you may want to consider an SMSF because you're only required to pay 15% income tax on the rental income if you purchase your investment using an SMSF. When you have multiple investment properties, it pays to get advice on the best way to manage and structure your portfolio to maximize your investment returns and avoid unnecessary taxes. The third ownership factor you'll want to consider is retirement planning. How do you want your retirement to look like? How you structure your assets can have a significant impact on that. The fourth factor is succession planning. One of the most rewarding aspects of building substantial wealth is being able to share it with others. Few things give investors more peace of mind than knowing that the assets they worked so hard to accumulate over the years are protected and preserved for their heirs. Whether it's providing income to a spouse, educating children or grandchildren, or leaving money to a favored charity, A carefully crafted estate plan allows you to control your assets while passing your wealth on to your beneficiaries in a manner that's tax efficient and reflects your personal values and objectives. A key consideration is to pass the wealth you have created to the next generation without triggering stamp duty or capital gains. And lastly, you'll want to consider the cost and complexities of the structure. For example, if you're a low-risk individual, investing in your personal name may be the most simple and cost-effective ownership structure compared to owning the property in an SMSF. There is a lot of red tape when it comes to investing with an SMSF. You have to adhere to more regulations and audit requirements, so it could end up being a costly and more complex exercise. Companies also have a few legal requirements that could make it unnecessarily costly. But you need to weigh the costs up with all the other factors. If you're a high-risk individual, you can't put a price tag on asset protection. So you'll see that all these factors interlink with one another. That is why I keep emphasizing the importance of consulting with an expert who can advise you on the best way to maximize your opportunities and minimize your obligations in light of your particular circumstances. At Property Tax Specialists, we focus on a holistic approach to your investment journey. We want to get to know you so that we can develop strategies that consider all the aspects of your business, investment, income, family, and lifestyle goals. So, if you want to know more about how to best structure your investments, get in touch with one of our experts today. And if you know another investor who could benefit from this video, make sure to share it with them. Otherwise, stay tuned for more property investment tax tips. See you next time.